If you clicked on this video, it's one of three things. You're a regular watcher of my content, saw my face, and are interested in what I have to say, in which case, thank you. 2, you're someone who has spent time in fandom spaces and are curious about what new thing I have to add to the discourse that pertains to how we navigate the cesspool that those spaces have become of late, to which I say, you're welcome. Or 3, you saw that thumbnail and are confused as heck because you know of Malicious compliance and you know of Schadenfreude. But what on earth is malicious enjoyment? To which I say, settle in for the ride. It's going to be a good one. Now, the entire idea for this video was birthed from a tweet I saw on Twitter yesterday. Once again, I'm never calling it by that other name. Smell on mustard can suck it. But as I was saying, I saw a tweet yesterday by a creator I follow, Carla Elizabeth, who does amazing gaming videos and analysis and theories about Mass Effect, which is my absolute favorite gaming trilogy of all time. Keep my skin hydrated and makes me glow. The same can be said about her videos on Dragon Age, which is my second favorite gaming series of all time. Clearly, BioWare owns my ass, not the corporate AOs who sit in executive positions doing absolutely nothing but making terrible business decisions. Nope. The BioWare that owns me are the developers, the creators, the artists, the storytellers, the ones that are and have been the backbone of the stories that have become my comfort games. That's BioWare. Now, if you aren't a fan of BioWare or video games or have never heard of the studio, you're probably wondering why I'm wasting your time going on this tangent. In the words of Elle Woods, I have a point, I promise. Now, back to the tweet. I saw Carla mention that she was being featured as a hit topic, with the focus being the fact that she has been very vocal and enthusiastic about her love for Dragon Age the Veilguard, which is the next installment in the Dragon Age games and my most recent reason for living and existing. Carla and the rest of the council, for those who are wondering, the council is made up of a bunch of Dragon Age diehard fans who BioWare reached out to early on to play a sort of early access of the game so they would get an idea of what it is like and give feedback to the devs as they continue with creating Dragon Age the Veilguard. It is a pretty smart move because if you're coming back to a franchise that hasn't had any new games in 10 years, a franchise with a story that has kept fans on a cliffhanger for that 10 years, which if you have spent any time in fandom spaces, you know it takes a lot of effort and speaks to the hardcore nature of fans to still be in love and keep waiting for that long. But it also means that we most likely would have had theories and possible expectations of what we think would happen when the game finally gets released in our lifetime. So bringing on fans and creators so they can give the early access a spin and share their thoughts on things that they think work and maybe could be better and how it's made them feel or not feel, and if they believe that the story is compelling enough and follows through on the threads that have been established in the previous 3 games, that is a boon. And when the NDA was finally lifted with the release period for Dragon Age the Veilguard being revealed and marketing started, having this council come out and share their thoughts ideally should be something we as fans ought to be happy about. I mean, I am positively delighted. Now, sure, I didn't get into Dragon Age Inquisition until 2018, which meant I've only been waiting for a new game for the last 6 years. And 6 years might look like nothing to OG Dragon Age fans who have been waiting for, like I said, 10 years for this newest release and the continuation of the franchise. But I have invested 6 years, damn it. The wait has been cold and long, and fans are rightfully excited about the news being released and the thoughts that the council is sharing about the game. But amidst this fan excitement, I have noticed an overwhelming amount of hate. I'll see a video where a creator is talking about the Veilguard and expresses mild enthusiasm, like just a whiff of possible hope and a tiny sprinkle of joy. And the comments are often flooded with people who have the exact same talking points. Dragon Age the Veilguard is going to fail. The old BioWare is dead. Everyone has left BioWare. This game sucks. Give us back Origins. The characters are cartoony. The voice acting is terrible, which I find hilarious, by the way, because it's just the most inane thing to say. We have no idea what these characters sound like. Like, by the time this video goes up, it will be close to Friday's SDCC panel, which is when we would finally get the chance to meet some of the voiceover actors and hopefully get an inkling into what their characters would sound like. Like, we are still hoping they do a little voice acting for us at the panel, but that's it. Nobody knows what this character sound like. And yet I legit saw a comment like that saying they are sure the game is going to tank badly because the companions sound horrible and are ugly, which speak for yourself. Grandpa Emmerich Volkaren can get it and will be getting it. I intend to ride socially inept and killing machine Lucanis de la Morte into the sunset. Nev Gallos is going to ruin me. I've been waiting to romance Lace Arden since Inquisition. Davrin and I have mutual interest. We are both pet parents. I am, of course, actively ignoring the vileness that is his voiceover actor because Ike Amadi, what the hell is wrong with you, Andrew Tate? Really? Seriously? Damn. But back to the rest of the companions. Bellara, Lotara, and I are going to go adventuring and diving into portals together because I just know she's not going to be as annoying as PB. And confession time, I didn't really find PB that annoying, if I'm being honest. And then there's Tash. The minute I saw their emerald on, I knew they were about to become my sugar parents. What can I say? Anyone who is a lord of fortune can own my ass. I'm a simple girl living in a capitalist society. Let me have my fantasy, damn it. But that's the truth of it, isn't it? We live and exist and scrape and try to survive in a world that every day tries to break us and our spirit. I don't know what you do for work, but I'm sure it's most likely draining on your spirit or it bores you out of your mind. That seems to be our options of late. And if you found a job that's rewarding for you, that brings you joy, that makes you excited to get out of bed and do something with your day, a job that fulfills you, that you don't spend hours in your days wondering if it will be possible for you to just quit and then being terrified at the thought of quitting, because to quit is to not be able to earn money, and how are you going to survive? Which then takes you back to work and the cycle continues. Then you are one of the lucky ones. Do you want to know how to figure out if you really love your job and what you do? Simple. If you're given the chance and opportunity to just stay home, to do whatever you want, not work, and yet for every day you get up, you get enough money paid into your account that you can have a great day, that you can travel, eat amazing food, have an amazing experience, hang out with friends and loved ones, do everything you want and not have to worry about having a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food on your table, and for your pet. You don't have to worry about bills or medication or anything really. If you have that option and will still choose to leave your house or not leave your house for those who work remotely, but if you have that option and still choose to go to your job, then maybe you are one of the lucky ones and you have a job you enjoy doing, in which case, congratulations. You've won the jackpot and the lottery, and I'm really happy for you. That, however, isn't the case for everyone else. Work for most of us is that energy draining, joy sucking thing we do to pay our bills and try and survive. Which is why our interests and the fandoms we participate in are what then draws us in and brings us joy and helps us keep living. Which then means that when we have other people in those same fandom spaces who are nothing but Debbie Downers talking trash about how everything is going to fail and how it's terrible and wondering why on earth we would love this or that and go out of their way to come into our spaces, our cultivated areas of relaxation and fandom excitement and joy, to spew all that vitriol, I take it as a personal affront. And I think it's about time we collectively do something about that. Now, my boss has a problem with the fact that I laugh too loud. Yes, trust me. This isn't me exaggerating. She called me into her office once to talk about how my laughter is so loud that she can hear me downstairs. And maybe I can try and be a bit quieter. Because our office is a 2-story building and her office is directly beneath my workspace. For a brief period of time, about say 3 months, I really did try my best. I laughed less. I talked less. I convinced myself that I didn't want to inconvenience her. She's my boss and this is an office space and I needed to keep myself in check. I shrunk myself and I was miserable. And that was when it hit me. Why on earth would I dampen my joy? Why on earth would I bury my spirit? Why on earth would I quieten my voice? I am still doing my work, doing it very well. I'm productive. I'm getting us new clients and our old ones are more than happy with my output. Why would I make myself less and be more miserable because someone says so? Why would I give her the satisfaction of drowning out my spirit? Now, if you've been following what I've been saying so far in this video, you probably have an idea of where I'm going with this and what I did next. I tossed away the weight of her displeasure and expectations and became louder. I didn't just laugh anymore, I cackled. I didn't just shout anymore, I screeched. I didn't just do a little shimmy anymore when I had something to celebrate or my team got a well done from the client. I did a full-blown jig, upping on one leg, then the next, to the laughter of my colleagues. I was malicious in my enjoyment. Now, we already know what malicious compliance is. It's basically performing a request to the letter, often with disastrous consequences that you knew of ahead of time. But just because you want everything to go to hell in a basket and to prove the point to whoever made the request and never really listen to you pointing out the flaws in what they're asking for. Because, hey, if you want everything to crumble on your head, who am I to keep you away from the destruction you're so eager to discover? That is malicious compliance. Schadenfreude is the joy and pleasure and often self-satisfaction you get when everything crumbles around someone else. Often that's the feeling I get when I've been maliciously compliant to a T. And now all hell's broken loose and I'm Michael Jackson in the music video for Thriller, diving into that popcorn with glee. However, the title of this video is Malicious Enjoyment, and that is what you're here for. So what do I define? What do I mean by malicious enjoyment? After all, that is the reason why you clicked on this video. And it is what I've been building up to since I went on several tangents. Well, it's simple, really. Malicious enjoyment is the act of being extreme in how you love up on something you enjoyed just to troll the trolls. Remember that gif of Splee in the comic store when everything is going to hell and back again in the background and he's just there having a great time doing his thing? That will be you. But amp it up to the nth degree. What do I mean by that? Simple. Let's say you just saw a movie and maybe after you left the cinema, you'd put it at about, say, a 6.5 over 10. Like, it was decent. It wasn't great or mind-blowing, but you had a fairly good time and considered it a decent reward for the money and time you'd spent seeing it. But now you're back home and you log onto your phone or computer and maybe you saw a video where someone was talking about their thoughts on the movie and it was a fairly okay review. They talked about the positives and the negatives and some of the points they brought up were ones you actually agreed with. And then you maybe left a comment saying how you loved and enjoyed it as well and you went on your merry way. But then YouTube gives you a notification because someone had responded to your comment. And when you go to check, this other commenter basically shits all over your comment talking about how horrible and mid the movie was and is wondering how you could even enjoy the movie. It was probably a 6 at best or something. Now, you know that movie was a 6.5 when you finished it, but they don't know that. And here is where my suggestion of malicious enjoyment comes in. You will lie. You will embellish. You will out-troll the troll. Talk about how that movie is the best film ever made. It needs to be inducted into the Movie Hall of Fame or something. Talk about how you know it will win all the awards because it has so much depth and great rewatch value and you loved it so much. Be loud, be vocal, be annoying. Sprinkle all the tall tales. Exaggerate. Drive them crazy with thoughts of what on earth are you smoking? And then later have them wondering if you all saw the same movie and how do you love it so much when it's just a mid-movie. Be malicious in your enjoyment. You basically out-troll the trolls. You bring a bit of positivity into fandom and trust me, positivity is good. This world sucks too much for us not to grab the bits of happiness we can find and hold on to it. Also, you'll be the only person in on the joke because you know it's mid, but you're messing with their heads and it heightens the enjoyment. Can you all tell that I am the bearer of grudges who takes absolute delight in making others miserable if they come to a fandom space I'm in and choose to be absolute twats? Like, I'm not saying we can't all disagree. Clearly, there are things I would enjoy that others don't. And there are things I don't enjoy that others do. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't made rant videos or reviews. If you follow my Bridgerton videos, then you know I did one on how disrespectful I found season 3 after the second half dropped. But you know what you wouldn't find me doing? I wouldn't be in the comments arguing with people who enjoyed it, talking about how they are wrong. I wouldn't go into other people's videos and go to their comments to talk about how I'm astonished and appalled that they enjoyed the season because I didn't enjoy it. Like, who has that time? Yoruba people have a saying. It goes, Omo aje, aya aje, ali odegbodo mora won, which literal translation means the children will eat. The wife will eat, and the mistresses must not know each other. which simply means when you have a lot on your plate, you need to know how to juggle things and prioritize what's important. Because I repeat,
ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
So please partake in some malicious enjoyment as you navigate these spaces. I know I will. With Dragon Age the Veilguard dropping this fall, I am already setting aside my money for pre-order. Yes, I will be pre-ordering this game. If you're a team, nobody should pre-order video games because gaming companies suck, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. It's my money, not yours. I'm pre-ordering. And I might make a video on why I pre-order stuff because just in case you couldn't tell, video games aren't the only things I pre-order. So yes, I will buy Dragon Age the Veilguard. And even if it is only a 7 out of 10 game, I will love it to hell and back again. And be very vocal about why I love it so damn much. And it wouldn't be because I'm a shill. It wouldn't be because BioWare paid me for marketing, which seems to be the default statement that a lot of these haters like to toss at creators who talk favorably about this game. Nah, I am going to hype it. And the more you hate, the more I will exaggerate and the more vocal I will be because I maliciously enjoy messing with you. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like button. If you didn't, consider hitting the dislike button. It makes no sense that you watched this video for this long, hated what I had to say, and can't express that displeasure in any way. So hit the dislike button or drop a comment. I cannot promise to not outro you though. Share this video if you think others should hear what I have to say. Every interaction does help my channel grow and is incredibly supportive of my content. Speaking of support, a huge thank you to my patrons. You all keep me going and encourage me to keep making content. Thank you. If you would like to support me on Patreon and can afford to do so, no amount is too small really, then do check out my link to my Patreon in the description box. I make new videos 3 times a week. Mondays are for my anime manga content, Wednesdays are for my movies and TV shows, and Fridays are for anything else really. All my videos drop at 5 p.m. EST on upload days. Whilst you wait for new content from me, consider checking out my 17 life lessons for 27-year-old video. Until next time, do remember, obsessing over the things you love, perfectly valid coping mechanism.